AOC is calling for Trump to be impeached. That's really highly unlikely, isn't it, Congressman?
Oh, my gosh. I mean, again, with her. So stupid, so ridiculous. All this is just, trying to say something to get on TV or have a soundbite that gets carried in media. The Democrats didn't say anything when Barack Obama launched airstrikes against Libya. When Barack Obama launched airstrikes against Syria, they did nothing. They were quiet. They cheered him on, so on and so forth. The president of the United States does have constitutional authority for strikes when it comes to military force. That's why they're the commander in chief.
In a heated congressional hearing, Byron Donalds and Nancy Mace confront Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez head-on, dismantling her arguments and exposing the weakness of the radical left's agenda. This is a must-watch reaction where I break down what really happened and why it matters for America.
The legislation for contempt, by the way, Mr. Chairman, we should actually get to the legislation of contempt. The speechifying is great, but let's do our business.
Comments, not only are they hypocritical by the left in their arguments today, but that this is an embarrassment to the time and people of this country.
Let's be very clear. This isn't about Hunter Biden's white privilege. It's about Hunter Biden's Democrat privilege. Because Donald Trump Jr. showed up for 5 congressional subpoenas. There was never this circus where he was subpoenaed by House Democrats and he showed up on the Senate side or showed up at the White House to answer in some fake, phony, lame press conference, not actually going to the House and doing what he was compelled by a subpoena to do. Hunter Biden did that. And then he has the unmitigated gall to show up here when we know that we're going through actually the legislation for contempt, by the way, Mr. Chairman, we should actually get to the legislation of contempt. The speechifying is great, but let's do our business, members. He has the gall to come here, show up, and then when the Democrats are saying, hey, he wants to speak, he leaves. This is a joke. This is a farce. The man has been subpoenaed by Congress. Oh, and by the way, the January 6th committee, Mr. Raskin, which you did sit on, by the way, that was not a normally ordered committee of Congress because Nancy Pelosi did not want the Republican members that then Leader McCarthy put up.
According to the courts, it was.
My time, sir.
Will you yield for a correction?
I was respectful of your time. I didn't say anything. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's move forward with our business. He should be held in contempt. There was a subpoena. He did not answer it. Any other American will be held in contempt by Congress. Any other. This is Democrat privilege of the highest order. Let's do our jobs. I yield.
Gentleman yields. Chair now recognizes Ms. Ocasio-Cortez from New York.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just to address briefly, quickly, that moment about privilege and all of this that we're seeing here. It was a very beautiful speech by the gentlelady who, as she mentioned, was helped lead on the now majority side, the Civil Rights and Civil Liberties Subcommittee. But I think it's so exemplary of the point that she also oversaw the elimination of the Civil Rights Subcommittee on this committee, which really kind of gives the whole game away. We show up, we give speeches, we give flowery words, but at the end of the day, participate in the structural erosion of the rights and representation of people that are marginalized, women, people of color, people that just need to see their due process and civil liberties protected in this country. But I will move on. As also the Republican side had mentioned in their many raisings of the January 6th committee, that it's not just Hunter Biden, you, me, any individual subject to equal treatment under the law, to be held up to accountability under the law, but it is also these committees and this committee that is subject to oversight and law. We must comply with the law here as well. Now, I may be one of the very few people that actually believes in Congress, in this country. But I do, and many of us do here. And we have an obligation to engage in good faith participation to execute and comply with the subpoena. The chairman said in front of the country several times to Hunter Biden, you can show up here in front of the world, in front of the public. Hunter Biden took him up on that offer. He said, I will show up in public. I will show up in public. He showed up here today. He showed up here in the past. And Mr. Chairman, I know you do your best with what you've got, but you've got members here that have submitted falsified evidence to the record. You have members here that have submitted and mischaracterized closed-door hearings, and people want to say back and forth at the end of the day, It doesn't matter what party it's happened from. You've got members who've engaged in revenge porn in this committee. So it is understandable why Hunter Biden would want to testify in front of the public for the American people to be able to witness that testimony for themselves. You've got members who've defied subpoenas. You've got members who we are 1 year into the term asking what the rules are at the beginning of the committee. The book was given to us on day one. And so what we should do is allow the man to testify. I believe in the power of the Oversight Committee. Frankly, I believe in it regardless of whether Republicans or Democrats have the chair, because I believe that this committee should have the power of oversight, and we cannot do that on a partisan basis. And so for that, I implore this committee to allow Hunter Biden to testify publicly. I implore and I ask for that to happen. And we cannot do that by getting engaged in this back and forth on a defiance of the subpoena. Let him comply. Let him do it today. Let him do it tomorrow. But let the man...
Mr. Chairman, I request unanimous...
Chair recognizes Ms. Mace.
Mr. Chairman, I request unanimous consent to enter an article into the record dated January 6, 2019. A member of this own committee, the day after she was sworn in, came into Congress, and this article says, Dem split in response to her words, impeach the mother effer, the day after she was sworn in. Some might even say these kinds of comments, not only are they hypocritical by the left in their arguments today, but that this is an embarrassment to the time and people of this country. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Without objection, so ordered.
Mr. Chairman, I'm afraid my friend, the gentlelady from South Carolina, just engaged in personalities against a fellow member of the committee.
Well, what she entered in the record was, I believe it was Ms. Tlaib's.
Well, it was the commentary that accompanied it that I'm referring to.
It was an article from January 6,
what she
2018.
said.
Dem split in response to impeach the mother effer comment by a member of this committee.
Right. It was the commentary, and in any event, it doesn't make any difference.
No, she said it. She actually said it.
No, but Rule 17
She said impeach the mother effer.
The commentary of what she is presenting.
The article title is
the gentlelady's commentary.
All right, let's get on with it. I mean, the government's about to shut down. Okay.
Chair. Order. Chair now recognize Mr. Lat.
Welcome back to Alyson Reacts, where we bring the truth that the mainstream media refuses to talk about. If you love America, if you're tired of the lies from the radical left, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video so more patriots can hear the truth. Now, let's get into this absolutely explosive moment from Congress. Byron Donalds and Nancy Mace went toe-to-toe with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez during a high-stakes hearing, and what we saw was the perfect example of why the left is crumbling under its own nonsense. Byron Donalds didn't hold back. He called out the sham investigation games, pointing out that the evidence presented so far has been devastating to the Biden family. And he's right. Every piece of testimony, every bank record that surfaces points back to corruption, influence peddling, and lies that the Democrats are desperately trying to cover up. But what does AOC do? Instead of addressing the evidence, she resorts to theatrics, claiming this whole thing is baseless. Patriots, that's the playbook of the left: deny, distract, and demonize. Then we have Nancy Mace stepping in, and let me tell you, she made it crystal clear that AOC's constant posturing is wearing thin. Mace didn't sugarcoat it. She exposed AOC's hypocrisy, calling out the fact that the so-called progressive champion is more concerned with defending the Biden family and pushing a socialist agenda than standing up for hardworking Americans. This is what the mainstream media won't show you. They want to portray AOC as some brilliant defender of justice, but when the facts come out, she's left stammering, deflecting, and hiding behind talking points. Byron Donalds and Nancy Mace cut right through that. And the beauty of it is, they did it with facts, confidence, and boldness. The truth is this: the radical left is terrified. They know that if Americans wake up to the corruption happening right under our noses, their entire grip on power slips away. That's why they scream, that's why they throw tantrums, and that's why they try to silence patriots. Byron Donalds and Nancy Mace showed courage in that hearing. They represented the voice of every American who's sick and tired of corruption, sick of lies, and sick of politicians like AOC who care more about pushing socialism than protecting our freedoms. So, Patriots, the takeaway here is simple. We need more fighters like Byron Donalds and Nancy Mace. We need leaders who will stand firm, speak the truth, and refuse to bow to the radical left mob. AOC may love the cameras and the headlines, but when confronted with the truth, she gets exposed for what she really is, a radical ideologue out of touch with reality. If you're as fired up about this as I am, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and share this video. The fight for America's future is on, and we need every patriot spreading the truth. Now let me ask you, do you think AOC has any credibility left after this? Or is this just another example of Democrats running from the facts? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next one.